The champ is here.
I must be the greatest.
The champ is here.
I'm going to continue to stand with the people.
The champ is here.
I will not lose.
I'm a bad man. I shook up the world.
Yes, welcome. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with me. My name is EJ, and I got my man.
MH.
Yes, he is the DB of the show, and we are Black in Sports, giving a voice to the culture that won't shut up and dribble. And speaking about dribble, today we're bringing you back inside the locker room where we just want to touch on our ladies, doing a little bit of a ladies first with the WNBA getting ready to kick off, man. So we just wanted to, highlight and talk about, the exciting things coming for this NBA season, WNBA season that is right around the corner. MH, ready to do this?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So just, I was always wondering like how we were going to start it off, but I think, we just started with a little welcome back, right? Like, a lot of the conversation last year was just, thoughts with 42 and, definitely now she's going to be back this season.
Yeah, man, it is. It's exciting. It's exciting to kick off the season. It's exciting to get it going. It's exciting to be a part of, a city that's hosting or that is the defending champions residing in the city. It's just exciting all the way around, man. Basketball is one of our favorite pastimes we talk about.
Absolutely.
And we got to talk about it because of the local Aces. We got to talk about it well deep into their season. So I'm excited for another kickoff.
Absolutely. So the welcome back we were definitely hitting to was Brittany Griner. So Mrs. number 42. I believe it's 42 is her number. But she's coming back, going to be with her team after what she went through, and just like all the thoughts, support, and, everybody kind of working and making deals and bringing her back. So she'll be back. And you're right, man. Our first champion to the city Aces, man, have been doing a lot off season. So, we'll just, touch upon all of the things. If you missed it, we want to make sure we bring it to the forefront and talk about some of the things that they have going on. But yeah, like you said, man, it's definitely, one of the sports that we talk about and have love for and have passion for. So it's always exciting to, to see the games and get out to the games when we get a chance. I guess I'll start with that, man. You had a chance to get out to one of the games, right? You went to one of the preseason games, man. So how was that?
I did, and they played the New York Liberty there, the opening preseason game. I was surprised. I was like, man, I thought they were opening up with the Sparks. I got my schedules mixed up, and when there was opportunity to go there and see them play, I had some family in town, so definitely wanted to share that experience with my daughter, but just with my family in general. And it was really cool to see in the preseason you get to see the depth of the roster of folks that you might not get a whole lot of minutes on both sides of the coin. And they were playing the New York Liberty, who we'll jump into, are kind of favored with the Aces as, quote unquote, a super team. So it was good to kind of see their depth and see how those rosters play. Start the season with that, and more than likely they're going to end the season with that matchup too.
No, 100%. And what's crazy is that they did that, right? Like for your preseason or your scrimmage game, is like giving the people that thing that they want to see ultimately, and that, all the sports are getting hit with the criticism of being scripted, right? But like if the WNBA could script it, that's what the masses want to see, right? And, you did touch upon this, so let's just get right into it. This is one of the things that a lot of the NBA people hate on or complain, is talking about like the super teams, and you can't win unless you have at least 2 to 3 stars on your team. And then now, just with the player mobility and some of the things that were happening this offseason, us, we got better, right? Like on paper, right? It doesn't matter until you actually, hit that court. But on paper, we got better. We got an amazing addition to our team. But the Liberty, they were able to make some moves as well. So these are the two that like early bettors and, the odds makers are saying we should see, both of these teams, if not one of them, in the final. So that was surprising to see that was a team that you got to see in a preseason game. But hey, I guess sparked the people's interest. give them a preview. And like you said, preseason is a chance to like work out some of the kinks and get some other players in the rotation. So it is a scrimmage or a practice game, but yeah, get the people what they want, I guess.
And I think it's a good thing. Even though there's this sparing like opinions on whether super teams are good, not just for the W, but sports across the board, like you mentioned. And I think it's good. And maybe I'm a little biased because I reside in one of the places where one of the super teams exists.
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit right.
Maybe, but I mean, I always like seeing a collection of really good players working together and playing together. When the WNBA started in 96, I believe, and 96, 97, forgive me if I'm wrong. I just remember the Houston Comets winning the first 4 championships, if not 5, with Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thompson. And one can argue that was a super team to just even, start the league out. But I thought there was a lot of excitement about seeing them play. I was, I liked watching them play, and the collection of really good talent together. So I think it's going to be a good thing. And a really, really, really high level of basketball of top tier players and top names that you recognize within the sport on 2 teams. I don't think that's a bad thing personally.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, you touched on something and while we were prepping for the show, I didn't think it was going to make it, but since you talked about it, Houston, right, was the dynasty, I guess you would to start it off, right? Like they were like winning titles back to back. It'd be nice to see a team back in Houston, and it's always that debate and that, back and forth whether, the WNBA should have expansion. But when you talk about a team that had multiple championships,
Sure.
Like obviously they were doing well, they may need some help on the support. There may be some issues of ownership or what was going on down there, why they ended up leaving or losing that team. But, I think times are different. The game is getting a whole different level of support. And I think the other issue that we were talking about, because, there's different, sides of the coin, right? Like I'm definitely all for expansion, which I believe you are as well. But I think there's part of it that you're kind of like, do we really need another team? Let's kind of get this continue to be stronger and efficient as it is. But the biggest thing that you pointed out when we were doing our prep was like, well, when number 1 draft picks aren't making getting cut from teams, maybe it's time to kind of open up that conversation.
Yeah, not just a number 1 pick for that team, like number 1 overall. In the whole draft. And we're referring to Charlie Collier, who was Collier, sorry, that was the number 1 draft choice for the Dallas Wings in 2021, not that long ago, 2 summers ago. And she didn't make the team. So I guess there's and
I think there's been some others, right? Because I've just seen like, names come across screen, like you would look, you'd be like, oh, she got cut, like she didn't make it, like,
Yeah.
So there's a couple other that I just, casually saw or whatever, but you're right, man. It just kind of makes you think like, hold on, man.
It does in some ways, and it doesn't in other ways. I can throw this comparison to March Madness, and it's a lot different.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, when both for the women and men's, when we get to that first round of tournament, it's cool. Everybody got the little brackets, and we want to see the upset. Great. No disrespect to some of the smaller teams, but when we get to the final Elite 8, when we get to the Sweet 16, we get to the Final 4, you kind of want to see those who And I think the women's college basketball than March Madness was more popular than even the men's. We touched on it, that you just knew who was playing. You knew those stars that were playing on those Final 4 teams. And I honestly don't think that's a bad thing for the W. If we know who's on the Aces, we know who's on the Liberty. There's a couple that we know who's on the Mercury. Shout out to BG and Donna Taurasi, and we know those are the teams that's going to be around, throughout the season. I personally just don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's how you get growth. I mean, shoot, it happened in the NBA. We talk about the Lakers and the Celtics still, right?
Right.
And then expanded on, but I don't know. I don't think that's a bad thing.
And to that point, right? That's the problem that the league has is, they want to expand, but there's these small market teams that maybe are not doing, very well as far as building a national fan base. Like, of course, the town is happy long as they're winning, maybe, and if they don't have
Right.
other competition, right? So you have the Memphis Grizzlies, and they have a whole other sort of issues. But as far as what's going on in that city, like that's the only major professional sport, I should say, right? Because I don't want to.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think off top and make sure they don't have anything else going on. But what I'm saying is like, when you think about expansion into these small markets, what's going to make them grow, and you're right, it's and not only the players, right, that we knew the coaches, right, like we know
Right.
Don, we
Mhm.
know and I'm going
Kim Mulkey.
Kim Mulkey, thank you.
Mhm.
And the West oh, I'm because I'm gonna be butchering some names, but we know the coaches' names. We're knowing the players. We're even seeing the play with the portal. Hearing them move and kind of seeing what those teams are going to look like. No, I definitely agree with you on that. But the other thing that I kind of guess I was wanted to move on with is like talking about the sports expansion. We just did a show talking about the growth of the global game. And we had mentioned some of the sports and what they've done, and the WNBA has followed suit, right? So that obviously has to be some type of blueprint, right?
Mhm.
And I guess Kathy, the WNBA commissioner, is looking at that and say, how do we expand our game? And they had their first global game in Canada, um,
Mhm.
where the two teams meet and had like a packed, sold out house, without any kind of teams, from Canada representing, and it did well. So I think they're working close to that. I believe they're doing all the right steps, to not do it too fast. I do think it needs to happen, but I do agree with you with just that balance of, knowing the players and getting to, that parity where you're looking for a Lakers Celtics, championship game to see who has, who
Right.
gets the next championship. So you want to start building those kind of narratives and those kind of conversations in the WNBA. And I think they're getting that. I think the biggest part was they weren't getting that media exposure and those kind of things, which now that that's been pointed out, and you have, stars that are doing certain things to make sure that they're getting pub, like Sue Berg and the White Mamba did the March Madness, where they were kind of doing a little Peyton show where they were
Right.
talking and getting in front of, we need to kind of do more and more of that, seeing Candace Parker on NBA Live with Shaq and them, like all of those things I think help create the narrative, to kind of continue to promote the global game. And that was a huge step of having a game in Toronto.
No, 100%. And I think, as you mentioned, those are some of the pioneer names when you think of women's basketball. Is the Donna Taurasi's, the Sue Birds, the Candace Parkers, and having them compete relevant. Like, Sue Bird was still competing for a championship last year, if I remember correctly, right? When they lost, and in her last season, we all as a nation saw her last game. Diana Taurasi's team wasn't as competitive this year, but with the Brittany Griner things that was going on, but she was around too in the playoffs. And then you talk about Candace Parker. Um, Now she's playing with the Aces. So I think it's important, to your point, those pioneers, that you see them and you get to know them across multiple platforms and streams and areas of opportunities. At the same time, you get to see them play. And then
Mhm.
one thing that Sue Bird was actually, really talking about, which I 100% agree. Sometimes I would probably say to the casual, maybe, and maybe some of it's true. Like, you'll say, like, man, I like watching the WNBA because it's fundamental basketball, whatever that means. I mean, that can be code word for a lot of different things. So
Mhm.
I try not to use fundamental basketball. I don't know what fundamental is outside of a bounce pass. But I will say that I think she did a good job of describing the differences from the college game, which we know on the men's side that there's a lot of difference of the game there versus what's going on in the W.
Right.
And I think there is a lot of um, more freedom that comes with the W game that I can say, whether you want to call it fundamental or not. These girls just got, or these dudes, these women, they got like skill. Like, it's quality to look at. Whatever you think Kyrie Irving is doing, well, Chelsea Gray is doing the same thing on the
Dusty
W
Gray.
side. Like
Ooh.
like legitimately. And maybe sometimes you don't see that in the college game, and in the WNBA game, it's a little more free flowing and free, and you can see that type of skill set. So I'm excited about this season, man. Chelsea Gray is the only jersey I got right at the crib. So.
But no, and you're right. I think we've talked about that. Like fundamentally, like I like watching the WNBA because it's basketball, right? Like, it's basketball that we've always watched, right? So I know that the NBA game is changing, and I know there's some, things that are adapting with the WNBA game as well, but I prefer that brand of basketball, right? Because I think it's, like you said, I don't want to use code words because I don't want to get caught up in, what people are using to say certain things, or if they are saying certain things, but just I definitely enjoy that brand of basketball myself. All right, so let's just kind of get into all the things, because like our Aces have been doing some things this off season, man, and I share with you the excitement. I can't wait for the first game or just the the season to begin. Anytime you have the champs, they're looking to do back to back, right? They're looking to do a repeat. And I don't see anything in their way other than themselves, man. So I hope that they kind of, keep that same hunger and push through and have another magical season. But so I guess one of the things that kind of jumped off, which was interesting, is the city finally got Tom Brady. So
figure it out.
Right. So finally, they were trying to get Tom Brady as a quarterback. That didn't work. Then he retired. And then we get in the news pop up that Tom, works out some ownership into the Las Vegas Aces, and it looks like he's still working to get since he started that relationship to get some with the Raiders anyhow. But so only reason I shared that is because like that makes it more interesting, or to me, to see like who's going to be at the games, right? We already have a great quality ticket, and it's just a city. So if you're in town, you're going to catch it. So it's going to be interesting to see who's at the games and then how often he comes to the games to support.
Yeah, and if I think he was at multiple games even beforehand last year. The Aces games are always cool for like that. There's always somebody that's
pops up
that's there. So they got a good environment, and I've heard the same things happen in Brooklyn where Liberty plays. So I don't think it's no.
And
I
LA.
think it's
LA has the same
in
thing.
LA too. But I really do is by design that these two teams, especially the summertime, Vegas and Brooklyn in the summers, you can, it doesn't surprise me that those two teams are two of the elite teams. But it's cool that Tom Brady has put in his bid to own portions or whatever portions he owns of the team. I think it's another spotlight and exposure, as we pointed out, that's happening.
And someone that's going to be an advocate, right? Like, so the owner of the Liberty, who, I think he got fined or something because he's fined his, chartering flights for his team, and just kind of really did a push why, these other owners can't step up and figuring out that travel situation. So yeah, I think it's going to be dope to have, Tom a part of it. And it's funny that him and Chelsea Plum really got close last year or a couple years ago from the first time he came to the game, and he came to a couple of games, and on her Instagram she shared like getting a jersey and some things from him. So just any kind of that dynamic that supports and help bring attention to the game is really dope. And you did mention the summer, so talking about the summer, we're going to be hosting the WNBA All-Star weekend again here in Vegas. So July 18th, that'll be going on. And, I know the people we know here don't really like to have it all the time because it's a lot of work for them, for the local team, the Aces, to help support it. Although they do a great job, man. Like the last couple years when it's been here, it's been amazing to have it during NBA Summer League. It stands out on its own, but it's just nice to. I mean, that's kind of Vegas, right? Any sports weekend in Vegas, you could have like Aces game, a big concert going on, and something going on at the racetrack, right? Or a Raiders game, a big conference, like 7 things going on.
Super Bowl, Formula One,
everything, right?
Some rodeo, like geez.
So it's good to host that. So we'll look forward to seeing you all here in the summer, July 18th, when we host the WNBA. Like I said, the city, the WNBA, they do a great job with all the events, and really just celebrating the talent that's there.
Have they made that a permanent move yet? Is that talked about? I feel like
It should be.
they probably should look into that.
So hopefully, I mean, if we do a stand-up job, and it's like, because I think it happened Chicago, like the fact that I really don't know where it happened last year or the years before, I think that's part of it too. And I agree with you. That's something that should submit and like just kind of make a permanent and a constant. Sorry, Kalani and, and Deandra and team.
Due apologies, due respect, Kalani, on that. But Vegas has kind of turned into I guess the face of summer basketball, so to speak, outside of what goes on in LA with the pickup games and all those type of things, Drew League and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at Summer League, the NBA Summer League, it happens a week or two before what the WNBA All-Star is going to be, and everybody's out for those weekends. I mean, why not? There's always a huge AAU tournament throughout the summer.
LeBron throws his little thing that he has.
That happens.
International, a lot of stuff happens in and around. That
happens right here. So I think that would be a nice strategic move for the W. At least for maybe it's an every other year thing, which just seems like is happening now anyway. I think that's a good move for them.
I definitely support it.
And I do too.
All right, another big move is the team opened an amazing facility, right? Like that had the internet buzzing from like all of the like fly-throughs that they were showing. And then Candace Parker, like she was on a podcast and was just like, yo, like I deserve this. I've been in the league. Why not go to a team that wants me? And, to have these kind of things that I have not had from her career. So it's shocking to hear that, like, I didn't expect it to be on the level of a brand new facility that we have. But she said, like, I think it was to Shaq. I don't know. She goes, I have never had a locker that I can keep my stuff in, go home and come back the next day. So the facility is amazing. Have you had a chance to see it?
It's about as much as everybody else has seen it. I'm still looking
for that.
Hey, you know who you are,
right?
Come on now, where my tour at?
Where was the tour invite? We need that.
Come on, man. Don't Hollywood your boy. Come on, just give me a tour. I just want to see the court. I just want to do a left-hand layup on the glass. That's all I want to do, and I'll get up out of there. I don't want to do nothing else. No, but I've heard it's super nice, and there's a couple other businesses that I know that are going to be attached to the facility as well, and state of the art. I think what is it? 1 of 1 in the W. Period.
1 of 1, bro.
I mean, well, you can't get mad about a dynasty then if there's 1 on 1. I mean, the owner's doing what he said he's going to do. He's putting that commitment to excellence. Shout out Mr. Davis. So I mean, if he's putting it up and he's doing his thing, then you can't be mad about a super team. Get your game up.
Step your game up, get your bread up. Yeah. All right, so the ladies should be either they'd had media day a couple days ago, or they're getting, a lot of teams are getting through like the media day portion, of the season, because you got final rosters or kind of in, first games depending on where you are in the market are coming in the next 2 to 3 days. From the days that we're recording this, how do you remember media day? You remember that just like going back to like college days, you was taking the pictures and like just like that last like excitement, get your jersey, kind of, a little bit of fun from the break of, practice, getting the plays in, and then just kind of having the interviews and just the things that you're going in. I think it's always kind of like that's the realness of like, okay, the start of another season. You know what I mean?
And it's very optimistic. I've never heard of a negative media day or a negative outlook on your season, whether you're going to be 1-9 like I was several times in college, or whether you're going to be undefeated. I think you're always going to put your best foot forward during that time period. I have some nightmares about media day, and one of these days I'll share or we'll show the actual picture. Quick story.
Let's hit it.
I think it's my junior or senior year, and whatever the case is, we got a new coach. They say, hey, we want to wear this color suit. Everybody's going to wear we got 3 jackets, just switch them on, kind of nasty. But hey, when you come in there, wear your white shirt. We got a tie for you. We got this jacket. Everybody's going to be wearing the same look the same uniform. Bet. Okay, cool, coach. So it's my time to get up. I don't know what lens the man got on me or something, but sometimes when I look into a certain light, I get like a little lazy eye kind of thing going on or something like that. And so he took about, no lie, about I promise you, about 41 pictures of me. Pop, pop, pop. Still there. Pop. Okay, let's do this. Whatever. Then he was like, "Hey man, we can dub it up and have two right eyes on. You can have a right eye on your left or something like that. We'll just the good eye basically." We'll control all and copy and paste it to the bad eye. And I was like, nah, man, I don't want two right eyes looking crazy. So he's like, all right, let's just adjust your seat. So anyway, we finally get a shot where I don't got the lazy eye, but I am in the media guy. I'm looking straight on like I've been in trouble. Everybody else got a nice tilt.
The little tilt, the little angle of the boom.
Yeah. Here I am.
Bam. You head on looking like a deer in the headlight, like psycho, like.
And it was so obvious. I remember I used to try to talk noise on the field. I know every other game somebody would say something from the other team about my lazy eye. Like, y'all, dog, like you messed me up the whole. I have to ball out here, otherwise I'm getting clowned the whole time. I got New Balances on my feet, and I'm looking forward, and everybody else is looking to the side. So. I don't know why I got into that when you said media day. Man.
Media day is I know, man. I'm gonna phrase it different, man, because we don't want the flashbacks. Well, hopefully the ladies' media day went a little better.
Hey, make everybody face the same way, please.
Well, I mean, and they're doing like some really because the camera things that they can do with the backdrops and AI and everything is so different now, right? Like they doing fire and like motion and like Michael Jackson with the hair in the wind and everything. Like they didn't had it back when we were taking our media days. So the pictures a little and the edit is a little better.
A little better. Yeah, come on, man. Fix my eye, man. Come on. Don't Forrest Whitaker me like that.
That's hilarious. All right, so just kind of wrap it up, man. One of the things that like I've actually really enjoyed, and I think it's a carryover to see the sports do that, and just the fashion. The Aces do a great job of the tunnel. So when the ladies are walking out to the game, and just like the fly fits that they put together. So a lot of the ladies on our team really put it together with the different kind of outfits. And you're laughing because I'm wondering which outfit that's making you laugh or just some of the fly stuff that you're looking forward to see this season.
So I when it comes to like fashion, I like watching like combinations of shoes.
Weird combinations.
Yeah, just what the combinations are.
Right.
And as I get a little older, I understand that, hey, it's not as cool for your old ass to be wearing some of the stuff that they wearing, you know what I mean? But I do like the combinations.
You come to that realization. Okay, good, man. Progression.
I've been humbled. But nonetheless, I like the combinations. And if I envy women in any part, because I'm glad to be who I am. But if I have a small envy, it's like how versatile they can be. Like they can literally be super versatile in this dope. They can wear a jersey the game, arms out. Next day they can wear a suit. Then they can wear 10-inch heels. They can accessorize the ball as a purse. Like there's a lot of things that they like are. I mean, there's a lot. They're super versatile. So shout out to you.
Well, maybe we'll get you one of them. What are those?
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. So let me correct that. I'm cool.
Hey, I mean, let
I'm
it
cool
fly,
being I'm cool. No, I'm cool with being just a 3-and-D player when it comes to my fashion. I'm not gonna be that versatile, but it's cool that they can be super versatile. That's dope.
There it is. Well, all in all, man, we just want to wish the Aces and just the WNBA a great season to continue to grow the game. Definitely excited about it. Just some of the commercials there including the ladies and the guys in there. So just excited to see the growth, man. You got anything else with the people, MH?
Back to back. What's your prediction? Is it too early to make a championship prediction?
No, it's back to back, man. I'm ready to see those back-to-back jerseys. I missed the last parade. I have to be at this next parade. So make it happen.
I agree. And outside of Chelsea Gray, I think Candace Parker is probably top 2, 3, like favorite like basketball players, period. So
we got the MVP.
Yeah, there's
MVP
and we haven't mentioned the MVP.
We have not mentioned the MVP. So the fact that you can start off and you come in like in the middle with like the MVP, bro, like we rolling. And the coach of the year, like she came in and X and O'd the hell out of this shit. So I mean, I'm ready for another chip, man. So let's get it. I mean, no pressure. I'm not on the court, but speaking of pressure,
we gonna be on the court.
We're gonna be on the court.
We're gonna be on the
Yeah, I almost got out of here without, hey, do you want to issue your challenge, man? Because like they dodged us last year, right? We had a verbal handshake agreement.
We're gonna be on the court.
All right. So buckets, I know you're listening. Okay. From fan to mascot there. All right. You do a great job on the floor, but my man MH is coming for that title. You agreed that you was up for the challenge.
You disrespected me too. You didn't even you looked at me in my Forrest Whitaker eye. You didn't even look at me.
It said no chance.
No chance. Didn't even give me a full shake. So I'm coming for that Intercontinental Championship belt. I need that immediately. I'll be ready. We're gonna be on the court. Whenever you're on the court, we're gonna be there.
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready.
And we saw you off season, and you said that you was gonna make it happen. You just said, a little busy running for the championship last year. So before the season begins, you tell us the date, you tell us the game, and we will be there.
I mean, there's a couple things that I live in my office as bulletin board material, and that picture of you disrespecting me is in there. So that title belt, I will come for that title belt, and we're gonna be there on the court, man.
Love it.
I can't wait to see it. Don't catch my shot. If you're gonna block my shot, just block it. Okay. Don't catch it.
When he up there, he's like, hold it for a minute.
Yeah, don't cuff it and throw it back. Don't do that. Don't do that. Otherwise, I'm gonna jump on the trampoline with you. But if you could just block my shot, if you block it, and then I'm gonna make a shot too. I got a strategy.
There it is.
Jokic.
coming for the belt. Coming for the belt. Show it to him one more time, MH.
That high art, Jokic. I'm running on the court. I'm about to embarrass somebody out there.
It's gonna be live. Looking forward to it, man. All right, man. Any last thoughts?
All good, man.
I love it, man. Well, hey, I hope you've enjoyed the show. Once again, we start off with the congratulations to the Aces, and then good luck to the Aces this year. We'll be in the stands. We'll be rooting for you. It's kind of our catchphrase, right? So please, 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 if you like the show, share the show with someone. If you didn't like the show, still share it with someone. If there's topics and anything that you want us to talk about, please hit us up on the Instagram. We've actually just put up some comments. We share your posts if you share them with us. And just follow us on YouTube because visual representation matters. And please stay safe, practice gratitude, and know we're rooting for you.
Screaming, all us blacks got is sports and entertainment until we even.
Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Yeah. Yeah. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Look. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. Spent about 2 racks on handmade new rags. Assuming I'm rooting for everybody that's black. That's everybody from sports to college class to rap and back.